What is going on, wrestling fans? That's right, you're watching WrestlingRumors.net, Wrestling Warm-Up right here, July 19th, Battleground pay-per-view tonight. We are actually just really excited for this card. There's some cool things to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, actually, tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of cool, really cool things that have been rumored for the show tonight, and some interesting add-on matches that should probably be added, because as of right now, there's only 6 confirmed matches for the card. Outside of the kickoff match, you got 6 matches, and of course we can't have a 3-hour pay-per-view with just 6 matches. So we're gonna get into all that here soon, and of course I've got Mr. Adam Daly with us. He's joining us over there. Even though he's not repping black and yellow. Very, not my kind of black and yellow. He is repping black and yellow. What's going on, my friend?
Well, it's a little blue and yellow. It's actually a shout out to one of my boys over in England. Just got married this
the black T-shirt underneath. I don't recognize blue and yellow. I'm looking at black and yellow.
I don't see any black. I don't know. I just have all black T-shirts. That's a random fact. I have like 90% of just all black stuff. So it's yeah. So you guys caught me. But yeah, no, the bright yellow. Tom, I love you, brother. Wish I could have made it to the wedding, but congratulations. He was the best man at my wedding down in Miami at 28. Wish I could have made it over. So he literally gave this off, took it right off his back and gave it to me at WrestleMania 30 as we were leaving. So I'm representing him today.
Hey, what was he? Who was he dressed up as at your wedding?
At our wedding, he went as Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. There you go.
Yeah,
okay, now I can put a face with who you were talking about.
Yes.
If anybody doesn't know about Adam and Sam's wedding, they literally got married in Miami at WrestleMania, full cosplay, full on dressed up, which was pretty cool. That video made their rounds around YouTube for a while, and a bunch of different websites and news outlets picked it up. Pretty cool. That's a little.
It was random.
Yeah.
And it was the most thrown together thing. We didn't plan it to be like that. It was just supposed to be a group of us. We all knew each other, got together, and then it just somehow ended up everywhere. I guess that's the wonder of the internet and crazy lunatics like us.
Of course, the interwebs makes everybody famous. Walter, somebody else that the interwebs has made famous, Mr. Walter Sports. What's happening, my friend?
Whitest guy in Canada wearing a white T-shirt. I'm royally screwed, guys.
Yeah, I was like, is this Powder or Walter? What's happening here?
Can you
Powder
see me?
Reference. Who knows the 90s? Powder was a movie in the 90s. I don't know if you remember that or not.
And what the hell, Adam? I wasn't invited to your wedding. I don't care if I didn't know you. I should have been there.
All you had to do was go to WrestleMania 28 and just walk down the street, and there it was.
That's pretty much how a lot of it happened, yeah.
My bad, next time.
You could have got there in Miami and just popped in the background and made a little face and got out of there.
That's what I do in general, man. On this show, I just pop in out of nowhere unexpectedly.
And then Vince Russo would have definitely called you the guy from The Hills Have Eyes, just creeping into people's.
Oh yeah, I forgot he called me that. What a dick.
General consensus. It's the general consensus of Mr.
Anyways.
Russo, anyway. Oh, man. WrestlingRumors.net, Wrestling Warm-Up right here for Battleground. The kickoff show goes live in about 55 minutes. Of course, there'll be one match on there that we know of that everyone's super excited about. Woohoo! No, so this is cool, because before we even get started, I just want to talk about the fact that this is one of the first pay-per-views that we've been so split on predictions. Like, it's ridiculously crazy how absolutely back and forth we are with who we've picked to win and how we've picked them to win. This is when you can look at your sheet and look at the excitement level behind this pay-per-view. Like, we're talking about this is the most excited I've been for wrestling since WrestleMania, and one of the reasons I was so stoked about WrestleMania was that Sting was going to compete, and all this kind of stuff about WrestleMania where we wanted to know if Roman Reigns was really going to get fed the title or not, and there was excitement to it. There's the same level of excitement tonight. The matches could go either way. This is kind of like their reset button pay-per-view here. It's not like the Battlegrounds of old. The Battlegrounds of old have been lame sauce outside of a couple good matches that we've seen at Battlegrounds, most notably the Shield versus the Rhodes. Like, that was a phenomenal match a couple years ago on a Battleground card. Battleground has sucked royally. So the fact that they've taken this pay-per-view, put it in July, and they're basically going to hit reset from everything that we've seen. and try to get us to SummerSlam, which they're booking literally as a WrestleMania weekend. SummerSlam in New York and Brooklyn, they're booking it as a WrestleMania type show. There's going to be people like Triple H and Sting and Undertaker on the card, is what's rumored right now. It's for some pretty credible sources that Undertaker and Sting are going to compete at SummerSlam. And before we get into the card of Battleground, let's talk about the fact that's perfect for network subscribers and perfect to get network subscriptions, get eyes on the product again. Undertaker is advertised for Raw tomorrow night, and we fully expect that he'll either show up tonight or tomorrow to set up his program for SummerSlam. Sting is also rumored to be coming on either Battleground tonight or TV in a couple weeks. I mean, that's big too. You're going to get these two guys who can bring people and bring eyes to the product again and get it a little bit more, absolutely just exciting, and add an excitement level to it that, yeah, they're old guys, but they're names that draw, baby. And Dusty Rhodes will tell you in a heartbeat, rest in peace, Mr. American Dream. If the name, it's not about the product as much as it is the name and how people want to see that name. I mean, look at John Cena. The IWCers have been dogging John Cena for years. And, of course, he's the most popular guy in the company. It's about the name. It's about who wants to see you. It's about how you can, absolutely, really get things sold. So, yeah, so you know how it is. We're gonna get going into that. But Undertaker, guys, what do you think about Undertaker and Sting being involved in either tonight and/or SummerSlam? We know that they're probably going to be at SummerSlam, but what if they show up tonight? What do you guys think?
It would be really random if they both showed up tonight. I feel like it would kind of take away from the other person's debut, but I kind of understand it. I mean, WWE's kind of like in a hard place right now. The ratings haven't been what they used to be. A lot of people are looking at Seth Rollins primarily because he's the World Heavyweight Champion, not delivering the goods. And maybe this is just kind of like a Hail Mary pass on the company's part to say, hey, Undertaker, Sting, they will draw ratings, and let's get them on television as soon as possible, possibly as early as tonight. But I hope at least their debuts, if they do happen, either tonight or tomorrow night, they make sense in the grand scheme of things. I just don't want them to be randomly thrown into feuds. Like, we're already hearing Undertaker might get involved in the main event with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. Obviously, there's the history there with Undertaker and Lesnar dating back to WrestleMania 30 when Lesnar ended the streak. And then possibly, Sting coming back tonight and doing something with Bray Wyatt, which would be a cool little bout for Brooklyn and SummerSlam. So I'm excited to see them. I don't care that they're 100 years old. They could still draw, but I want it to be, relevant and for it to be logical.
AD.
I don't know. It's crazy because in 4 days, this pay-per-view has got flipped completely upside down just with the talk of Taker and Sting now. So it's like every theory we had completely is now out the window. I mean, I think we see one of the two tonight. I really do. I don't know if we'll see both. I think maybe we see Sting. Maybe we just put Undertaker's gong go off. I don't know. I think it would be smart for them to put either one or the other on tonight, only because maybe then now people are going to get that free month. Let's see if somebody shows up. Now if somebody does show up, you carry over into the next month for, now you have them with that first free month. It's not, every new month's free. The way they reworded it, now you're going to pay for SummerSlam, but if you're a huge Undertaker fan, if you're a huge Sting fan, you're going to sign up now, watch his pay-per-view, hope one of them, shows up, so then you're locked in. You go into SummerSlam like, okay, I'm already going to watch it, but
right.
I don't know where either fit in. It's weird. I mean, Taker makes sense to me. In a weird way, I can kind of see a double disqualification coming out of that match. Just because of what Rollins did to Kane and because of the end of the streak. I don't know. I've fantasy booked this in my mind so many different ways that my brain feels like it's the egg from the old 80s commercial, like your brain on drugs kind of type deal. I don't. At this point, I have no idea how they're going to insert either of these two guys tonight, but I think at least one of them shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're talking about the rumors of Sting versus Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. If Sting gets involved in that match, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Talk about Taker being possibly involved in the main event with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. We'll talk about that a little bit more in detail here in a little bit. But this is just exciting talk. The buzz around this pay-per-view has been awesome for a Battleground show. And, of course, everything going on with NXT the night before SummerSlam in August. I mean, I'm excited about wrestling right now. And that's what I think they've done a good job of, is really get me excited. And it's not the commentators doing it. It's not the TV production. as much as it is seeing great matches on TV weekly, especially in the U.S. Open Challenge. You know, that segment's been awesome. And then seeing spots like, you know, and you know, there's a lot of people like Dave Meltzer and other people that are influential in the internet wrestling community who did not really like the Divas segment from Raw, which I completely disagree with. I thought it was phenomenal, and everybody was talking about it afterwards. So I think they did what they were supposed to do. I think they got people talking, and it's an exciting time right now. We're gonna have to see what happens tonight. But you know, let's go ahead and start talking about the card, because tonight is Battleground. Tonight is what's going to launch us into maybe that reset place for WWE Fall, which WWE Fall is always bad. So I'm excited right now. Hopefully, whatever they spark here from Battleground and SummerSlam can carry into the Fall, and maybe we won't see the Fall so much. You know what I mean? Like, the Fall is always just a drag to be watching wrestling through. It's always just Big Show gets put in the main event all the time, and it's bad. It's bad. But tonight we have a throwaway match that no one really cares about, but it's actually going to be, you know, it's going to be determining who the King of the Ring is for real, which I think is just dumb in itself. The fact that they've taken this, what used to be a really cool tournament to watch, and made it this just waste of a gimmick, and you know, they could have run with King Barrett for a very long time and made him a successful main event heel with it, and it is just gone to absolute poop. Just absolute poop. It is bad. So I'm glad. I'm hoping tonight is the finale of this program. It's a kickoff match. I think they knew, you know, they were smart enough to put it on as the kickoff and not, you know, make it a big thing, but Barrett's crown is up for grabs. Whoever wins tonight is going to be the king, and you know, reports came out today that WWE is looking at putting Barrett back through the Bad News Barrett thing, and for some reason Wade is like not wanting to be used. They don't want to use his name Wade. They don't want to use that, so he's gonna be Bad News Barrett. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what the whole Wade situation is, other than they just don't want to use his name. But regardless, tonight we have some predictions for this match, and we're split almost right down the middle. I had before I heard the story, and you know, it makes pretty freaking clear sense now looking at it this way. I had King Barrett winning via pinfall because I thought they were going to keep the King gimmick on him and hopefully try to save it, but there's no saving it at this point. And there's no saving him in this character, which is a daggum shame because the guy is awesome. I really like Barrett. And he can hit the bullhammer's a good finish to hit out, you know, from anywhere. It's a good move, and it's simple. It's not as destructive as say a clothesline from hell, but it's an elbow from hell. So I'll take it. I had him winning because I just didn't, you know, Truth got the win clean on Raw. I thought they might go over here, but of course Barrett got a win, and now it's time to go here. Will Benson, who surprisingly the last 2 months has been doing a banger job on predictions. I don't know if he finally woke up and started making predictions this way or what, but Will Benson had R-Truth via pinfall. John has King Barrett via pinfall. We both left those the same, even though the report came out. Manzo has R-Truth via pinfall. Walter, you too have King Barrett via pinfall, and so does AD. And the only other people that have other predictions here, Alex B. Song said King Barrett via pinfall, and then Joe Omega and Sam both said R-Truth via pinfall, and they may be right. Guys, what do you think here? Were we just lazy and didn't want to change these things, or do we really care? I just didn't really care.
Yeah, I didn't give a crap, to be honest.
I don't care if I missed this prediction or not.
But you know what? I mean, at the last pre-show with the last pay-per-view, Truth went over Barrett, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then he went cleanly over Barrett on Raw. If R-Truth beats Barrett, yeah. If R-Truth beats him again for a third time, done. You might as well release Barrett, because no one is going to take him seriously. I don't care if you give him the best gimmick known to man, like a Dalton Castle rub-off thing. Yes, I'm a Dalton Castle fan. Screw you. But I mean, Barrett is pretty much walking on thin ice at this point, and if he's to lose to R-Truth and give up his King Barrett, his King gimmick, which I think is going to happen eventually anyway, And what are you possibly going to do with R-Truth as a king anyway? He's going to have like a towel on around his shoulders, a stupid paper crown. Like, that's going to last for 2 weeks before people are sick of it anyway. So
well, he'll have a real crown now because
who gives a crap? A real crown, a Burger King crown. Like, this whole feud is stupid. The fact that this is even getting a second pre-show match is beyond ludicrous. So to hell with it. King Barrett's winning because I said so.
At least it's pre-show. And don't infringe on Jerry the King Lawler's Burger King gimmick.
Yeah.
AD, you picked the same thing, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's weird because even after the report came out, I'm with you guys. I just didn't care enough to change it, I guess. I don't know why this is still going on. I feel like this makes us like all look like chumps for even giving two. I'm gonna censor myself here. You know what I was gonna say? Cares, I guess, about King of the Ring. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like they were gonna make it something happen with it again. So either Barrett's really pissed someone off, and there's major heat on him, or he's getting the Zack Ryder treatment right now when you really think about it. And
you and I have talked about this on Monday nights, that there must be something going on.
The only payoff that would feasibly in a comedic way would be R-Truth winning and like coming out like Flavor Flav with a giant clock, big crown, like a big chalice. You know what I mean? It's the only way this pays off because otherwise, I mean, I'd rather him go back to the Bad News Barrett gimmick anyway. But it just, why did we do King of the Ring? What was it for then? And if you would have told me back then that the payoff was going to be for a pre-show, I mean, I'm going to still stick with Barrett just because I think maybe I hate to say this, I think they're going to have one more match. But
why?
I don't know.
How?
Because they want to shove it down our throats. That's why. And maybe it's just Raw tomorrow night, or maybe it's something. But I feel like they're just going to have one more rematch.
So you think this is Vince just saying, "Hey fans, here's this, suck on it"? Like you're saying basically, I want you guys to eat plates and plates of crap.
Do you know what a good role for Barrett would actually be at this point? I mean, if he's to ditch the King gimmick, is to actually join the Authority and be kind of like a bodyguard for Seth Rollins. I mean, imagine Barrett wearing a suit, the glasses, doing the whole like Jason Statham stick. I think that would really work well for him.
It would be something different. It'd be something fresh. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe if he sheds the King gimmick, and we know the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match tonight, even though we're expecting involvement with the Undertaker as rumored.
Corporate Taker.
What if you get What if Barrett comes out? I know it's not going to happen, but what if they did that? Like that would be.
It would be out of left field, but it would be cool.
At this point, man, the only thing they've done is ruin Barrett. In the eyes of the casual fan, even like it's bad. The smart fans were stoked about the King of the Ring and the fact that Barrett won it. As soon as he won it, they were like, "Oh, okay, here we go. Here's something different. We can get this guy, who's got a good gimmick that we like, the Bad News Barrett gimmick. Give him the King. Let him be a heel. Let him do some heelish King stuff." And they have absolutely ruined him. And it's not just the gimmick anymore. It's literally Barrett. How many failed times can you try to put something on a guy, and even though he's a good worker, it's just not working, and it's the way they book him. It's creative. That's the problem. It's the booking, man. They could have done a lot of good stuff with this, and they have ruined him.
Don't break Alicia Fox's heart is the moral of this story.
He's ruined. He's ruined.
Because you will pay the price, my friends.
Absolutely. Moving on to the real card, we have something that could be a really good match. It could be a stinker of a match. It could be a Borington match that people chant through. But I'm excited to see it because I think it'll be good. I really like watching both these guys work. We'll see what happens. Sheamus versus Randy Orton. I've seen people half and half on this as far as who's going to win and who's going to lose. We were about half and half on this about who's going to win and who's going to lose, like we all are on the entire card. But it's funny, man. I think these guys do quality work. I like Sheamus' style when it comes to telling a story in the ring. He's an aggressive dude. He's a good heel. He's a better heel than he is a face. He's too cheesy and campy as a face. So I like this new aggressive side of Sheamus. His entrance is baller. I love the theme. I love that he's coming out a little bit more serious. I think he looks cheesy as hell with the Money in the Bank briefcase with him. It looks super weird. And the way he holds it up and stuff, it's just weird. It's weird. It's kind of dampering his badassery a little bit. But at the same time, I think this could be a good match. Old school wrestling fans are probably going to really love this match. People that love NXT and love watching high flying stuff are going to be just miserably bored. But I think it'll be a good one. We're going to get a pretty good RKO spot out of somewhere. Where? Nowhere. But it's going to be a good time. I think this match is going to be pretty cool. I have Sheamus going over via pinfall. So does Will Benson. John Alba has Randy Orton via pinfall. Frank Manzo has Randy Orton via pinfall. And Chris Wilder has Randy Orton via pinfall. Tell me why.
Because the last time I picked a Money in the Bank winner to beat Randy Orton, I got it wrong, so screw it.
That's your whole line of thought.
That's my whole thought right there. If Sheamus is going to go for like a bloody bro kick or something, and Orton's going to elevate him for an absolute... I don't know how the hell he's going to do it. He's just going to toss him in the air.
He's going to punch him in the taint. He's going to punch him in the taint, and Sheamus is going to cut a flip.
But that's the kind of belief, though, with the Money in the Bank guys, right? Is that they can lose as many matches as they want, and as soon as they cash in, they're made anyway. So you know what? Orton's been treading water for the last couple of months. He's been, in these triple threat matches, fatal four matches, whatever, and he really hasn't gotten any momentum. So I'd like to see him kind of get back into that main event picture, and I think a victory over Sheamus will get him there.
I'll ask you this question because you reported on this earlier. Randy Orton was doing an interview trying to hype up Battleground, and they asked him about guys he would he wants to work with, and they asked about Seth Rollins. He said, I just got out of a program with him, and I've done that, been there, done that, but there's new guys. Finn Balor's coming up, so he basically said, hey, probably here very soon, Finn Balor, who's the NXT champion currently, will move up to the main roster. I don't see that happening until WrestleMania season. I just don't. But Randy Orton wants to work with Finn Balor, wants to work with Kevin Owens. I think a Randy Orton Kevin Owens series would be phenomenal. And then guys like that. He wants to work with new guys. Neville, he wants to work with those guys. He would have to turn heel for that. But he wants to do something like that. With that being said, where do you see Randy Orton going from here? Do we see Randy Orton versus Sheamus again at SummerSlam, do you think?
I think I tweeted out on the Wrestling Rumors account that Orton and Sheamus actually had a SummerSlam match back in 2010. They did. So now you go 5 years later, I'd really hate to see them do another friggin' match. I think one off at Battleground is fine with me. In terms of his future opponents, I think he really is craving to have some sort of a new program with somebody. And right now, I mean, Kevin Owens would be the logical choice, but he seems to be intertwined with this United States Championship John Cena thing for a while. And we were talking about it earlier on Facebook. We think, we'll talk about the Owens-Cena result later, but we think there's going to be a triple threat of some sort in Brooklyn. But as far as Orton's immediate future, it's really up in the air at this point. He might even be left off the card entirely at SummerSlam. I mean, we've seen Dean Ambrose main event the last two pay-per-views, and he's not even booked tonight.
Yeah, which is kind of could be telling. We'll talk about that very soon. It's kind of sketchy that he's not on the card, and he's outside of he could be they could have left him off. He may be doing some scenes for his new movie. I don't know. We'll see what happens. AD, though, you have Orton as well. What's your thought process behind that?
Money in the Bank winner doesn't got to win unless Sheamus and really no Money in the Bank winner. They've all gone on losing streaks after they won Money in the Bank, whether it by count out, disqualification, or pinfall submission, whatever. They all go on losing streaks. Unless Sheamus turns into Rocksteady tonight, randomly transforms in the middle of the ring, it's the only way that it would interest me for a Sheamus win. I think for this, Orton needs it more because what we'll see, I think tomorrow we'll see what they have planned for Orton for SummerSlam. Because I do think he has to be on the SummerSlam card, and I think we find out maybe tonight or definitely tomorrow night on Raw. And I think Orton will need. I mean, he doesn't need the win, but I think they're going to want Orton to get the win and look a little bit strong going into whatever program they have set up for SummerSlam.
And see, that's the opposite end of what I'm thinking is that at this point, man, Randy Orton doesn't need to win nothing. As far as he just came back not too long ago, the guy he's had the upper hand on television almost every single Monday night. He's laying out guys with RKOs everywhere. I mean, every single chance he gets. He had that very comical Batista tease back this past week. That was interesting. That was a good RKO, and he landed it on Sheamus. I don't know. Most of the time, and I'm talking old school logic, like wrestling logic, where like WWE, if someone got the upper hand or someone had the hand almost the entire time in the program, unless I know that they're moving to a long run with each other and multiple matches on multiple pay-per-views and all this kind of stuff, the guys that had the upper hand on TV are not the ones that are going to win at the pay-per-view. It's just that's how they usually book things. if this one's different, it's different, and I miss out on prediction. But I don't know. I just feel like Sheamus, even with the briefcase, and yeah, he has the briefcase, and whenever he cashes in, it's going to make something. It's going to make a difference. But man, I don't know. I think the heel needs something here. I think Sheamus needs a win, because he's looked pretty weak on TV outside of landing a couple bro kicks here and there. He's been getting dropped by Orton. But Orton is doing some of the best work he's done in his entire career. It's like he puts on elbow pads and now he's a beast, and he wants to work with everybody. He's doing excellent work in the ring. He's gotten a little bit rested. I think he's got a new love in his life, so he just seems genuinely happy. And a happy Randy Orton is an awesome Randy Orton in the ring. He cares about the fans. He wants the fans behind him. We were talking about this on every show 2 years ago, where Randy Orton was just lazy. You could tell in the ring he did not care what he was doing. He did not care if the fans cared. He just didn't care. He did not give two, if you know what I mean. And that was I think that since he came back and he's got a little bit of energy behind him and he seems genuinely more happy, he's doing excellent stuff in the ring. And we're gonna get. I think that started with his WWE Championship and run with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship when they merged the titles. He's been excellent ever since. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Randy Orton does coming up at the next couple events, because he's been doing really, really good stuff. The tag team champs are on the line. The tag team championships, they're going to be going between the current champions, the Primetime Players, with millions of dollars, going against the New Day. Which I have to say, people that are watching, if you haven't checked out Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, if you haven't checked out his Up Up Down Down YouTube channel, just go watch every video, because it's awesome. I'm an avid gamer. I love old school games. I love new games. The fact that they're playing these things with superstars, you get to see them drop the curtain, and some of them are using their real names. Like Rusev came out as Tong Po. You have fighters coming out as Mr. Miller. Macho Mandal's doing some really entertaining commentary behind them as they're playing. They're playing games like Combat X, Street Fighter 4, and they have challenges where if you lose, you get pelted with tennis balls or eat hot peppers and almost piss yourself because it's so hot, and they're trying to kick a soccer ball after they've eaten these hot peppers, and they're so disoriented from the peppers they're literally falling on the ground. It's really interesting. It's really fun to watch. I think Xavier Woods is probably my favorite thing on the new Swerve show on the network as well. Like Xavier Woods is my boy. I love Xavier Woods. He's from right here. He's about 40 miles away. Down in Georgia is where he came from. He's freaking getting his doctorate from Furman University about 5 minutes away. He's my boy. I love this guy. He's really cool. But between the titles, this could literally be a coin flip for WWE. Other than the PR they're getting for having an openly gay tag team champion, what's to say they don't turn the tables here and flip this coin? Because these two teams can continue to feud for a while. With Cesaro and Kidd out for the count, and they were supposed to be the ones getting this opportunity, not PTP. They had just started a program with the New Day. I mean, this could go either way, and I think it's literally a coin flip. I went back and forth saying I really don't know who's going to win this match. I think they can go further by putting the titles back on the New Day and getting the Freebird rule back into effect. A lot of mixes and matches and do a lot of different things there. You have, the Lucha Dragons. God knows they're about to get El Torito put on them. If this is the year if they're about to do some releases, I would not be surprised to see Primo and Epico get cut. I just really wouldn't. But you have other tag teams that are waiting in the wings. Harper and Rowan, whenever Rowan gets healthy again, then they'll be coming back out. And they were supposed to be doing some cool stuff, and they're gone. Tag team division's in turmoil right now. The freaking Dudley Boys want to come back and give it a shot in the arm, which I would be completely, utterly marked out for, because they are my favorite tag team of all time. But this one, I have the New Day, because I just think they can do more stuff with those guys. They're more entertaining. I do like the PTP stuff in the back, but they're just something about their style in the ring when they get going. Like, I love hearing Titus O'Neil in commentary. He's been owning when he comes out and does commentary stuff. I made sure I got a little bit of SmackDown in the other night because I wanted to see the Cesaro match, and I really wanted to hear Titus O'Neil in commentary. I enjoy it. If they ever cut them and Titus wants to get on a microphone, please God give him a microphone set and let him sit there. He's 10 times better than Byron Saxton ever will be. But I have the New Day. Will has the New Day. John Alba has the New Day. Frank Manzo has PTP, and Alex Bisong and Joe Omega and Sam Daly have PTP. But you guys picked the same thing I did. You picked the New Day. Tell me why.
Go for it, Adam.
I just think it's going to carry over into SummerSlam, and then they're going to decide whether or not they want to keep him on PTP if there is steam behind him, or if there isn't steam behind him, then they'll keep him on New Day maybe until I don't know if that would work with Rowan and Harper, because they'll work as heels too. But I don't know, with Kid's injury, that really threw a monkey wrench in all this. So I see this extending over into SummerSlam. Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're really getting the rub necessarily as they thought they would off of the Dad of the Year, campaign that Titus O'Neil was a part of. And they really don't mention, at least on WWE programming, Darren Young being a member of the LGBT community. Obviously, outside they mention it a lot, but they really don't mention it as much on TV. And it's so I don't know. In a way, it seemed like it was going to be good for cross promoting with a lot of things that just never really happened. So I think New Day was more entertaining anyway when they had the titles. I mean, they're more entertaining, period. But right now, they're the best thing that the tag team division got.
Walter.
Yeah, I mean, the New Day are way up here, and even with the Tag Team Championship, I think the Primetime players are still, a few levels down from them. I love the dynamic with having three guys you can interchange, at will with Woods, Kofi, and Big E, and I think they do more for the Tag Team titles than the Primetime players will. And I think this was just kind of WWE's way of saying, let's test the waters, see if we can put the gold on them, see if they'll do anything with them. They haven't necessarily, and I think if you want to do a rematch at SummerSlam, it's easier to do so with the New Day winning tonight. Because if they lose two pay-per-views in a row, there's really no justification for them to get another title shot unless you kind of do some sort of a gauntlet match where you throw the Lucha Dragons in there or team Luke Harper with somebody while Eric Rowan recovers from his torn biceps. So New Day wins tonight, and then we get another match with the PTP in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think it's a good setup. I think it's a good setup for another match. United States Championship. Okay, we got to talk about this because we're getting into the stuff where a lot of us have stuff predicted that could go the opposite way. We're basically just hoping for 1 point here instead of 2 at this point, because the Kevin Owens, John Cena, Cesaro saga at this point, Rusev was in on it as well, but we fully expect Rusev to be in another feud come SummerSlam. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But, man, this Kevin Owens, this has been my favorite stuff on TV. Kevin Owens, John Cena, Cesaro put on some of the best matches of the year, actually the best matches of the year. Yes, the Royal Rumble Triple Threat match was really good, and WWE decided to do a match of the year piece online. I love how when the commentator sheets, the notes that Vince McMahon sent to the commentators, when those got leaked, I think Vince McMahon literally was like, all right, we're going to have to use some of this stuff so that people don't believe it. Like, even though it's dated and from us, and it says from the office of Stephanie McMahon and all this bullcrap, we gotta try to swerve the smarks. And so what happened was they're using the term match of the year 2 weeks in a row. They've used the term match of the year, which they were not supposed to do ever because it relates to Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter more than anything. Match of the year. Something that people like to say, and he didn't want to do that because it's not matches, they're contests. Well, they're using match of the year now. They were reportedly not supposed to use the term backbreaker, and Michael Cole this past Monday night said backbreaker, and all these different things that they were said that they couldn't do and can't do and not supposed to do, they're doing it. They're starting to break away from some of that so that you can actually, or at least to swerve the smart fans after stuff leaks. But match of the year candidates for sure, and WWE.com went up and posted what they believe at the midpoint of the year has been the 10 best matches so far, and a couple of them come from NXT, which is awesome, and then the number one that they ranked was the Royal Rumble Triple Threat between Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar, and then Kevin Owens, John Cena, Cesaro, John Cena. All these matches were in there. Matches that we've all said probably are the best matches of the year, and that's why this stuff is so gold right now. Kevin Owens is one of the best talents ever to get picked up by WWE. His fast track from NXT to WWE main roster is proof of that. Jim Cornette, suck on it. I love you, James T, but the comment you made was ignorant and stupid. Saying that he'll never sell out arenas, he'll never perform in WWE well, he'll always, wrestle in front of 200 people in a bingo hall. Suck on it. Kevin Owens is the freaking man, and people are starting to realize that. I've been following Steen for 9 years, and it's ridiculous that it took him that long. It took him freaking 15 to get in WWE. It's awesome. Kevin Owens versus John Cena for the U.S. title tonight. It could go either way at this point, because if you do put the title on Kevin Owens, then there's a rematch at SummerSlam faux show. John Cena can issue his rematch clause, instill that, get to the match at SummerSlam, we get something cool. On the other side, John Cena, if John Cena wins clean, there's no need for another match, and there's nothing that can happen here to get us to SummerSlam. If we expect what we were talking about earlier, Water, you talked about a triple threat match that may happen in this scenario. I'm just going to run through the predictions, and then we'll talk further about why we think there may be a triple threat. How do we feel like a triple threat's going to come around? I do love the fact that John may be the only person that got who changed their stuff. Everybody changed their stuff except for me. Kevin Owens via pinfall is what I had. I fully believe it's going to be Kevin Owens via disqualification. I just didn't go in and change it. Will Benson has Kevin Owens via pinfall. John Alba now, Kevin Owens via disqualification. Frank Manzo, John Cena via pinfall. He thinks this feud is over, basically, at this point. I think that's crazy. Chris Walter, Kevin Owens via DQ. Alex Beastone, Kevin Owens via pinfall. Joe Omega, Kevin Owens via pinfall. Sam Daly, John Cena via pinfall. Sam. And then Adam, Kevin Owens via disqualification. Walter, why do we believe there's going to be a disqualification here?
Because I don't think Battleground is the place or time to put the United States Championship on Kevin Owens. As tough as it may seem, I know all the marks and all the IWCers are turning into the pay-per-view tonight with the expectation that Owens is going to win his first major main roster championship, but it's not going to happen, and I'll tell you why. I think the fact that he is facing Finn Balor the night before SummerSlam for the United States, not the United States Championship, but for the NXT Championship, really puts WWE between a rock and a hard place. You're not going to see the United States Champion challenge for the NXT Championship because a couple of things could happen. Exactly. Finn Balor is going over in Brooklyn, and you don't want to devalue a main roster title. As huge as NXT is right now, you cannot do that under any means necessary. So with that being said, Owens is going to go into Brooklyn the night before SummerSlam as the challenger without any gold on his waist, around his waist. Then the following night at SummerSlam, he's going to win the United States Championship there. As far as my disqualification is concerned, for the last couple of weeks, we've seen Owens interfering in all of these open challenges because he wants to be the one to defeat John Cena and become United States Champion. Well, you know what? Someone like Cesaro is going to come out and give Owens a taste of his medicine, and he's going to cost Owens that match, get Owens or get Cena disqualified or whatever, have a no contest, and then at SummerSlam we will see a triple threat with Cesaro, Owens, and John Cena.
What do you think there, AD?
I think if you rewind about 2 minutes and just hit play, and then you'll hear what Walter said. He took every single word that I was going to say. So really, if you want, pretend like this. I'll play everything Walter's saying.
This dog agrees with me too.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, no. For me, I think this is everyone right now. There's so much steam behind the idea of a triple threat. I think everybody. I don't want to say everybody, but the majority of people want to see a triple threat. SummerSlam's a much better stage for it, and then. Interestingly enough, you can put John Cena in that match and not have him get pinned, and then you can carry on a feud after that with Cesaro and Kevin Owens. So which I know we hate to hear it, but even and let's face facts, guys. Kevin Owens is as much as we want to see him win the title tonight, he cannot go in and lose to the NXT champion while being United States champion. Even though everyone says yes, you can, no, you can't. As hot as NXT is. John Cena made the United States Championship a very hot commodity, and they will not damage that title at all. Like the Intercontinental title has been diminished a little bit. So,
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Sorry to cut you off, Doug, but I was thinking about this earlier. Remember back in the day, it was like the early 2000s, when Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle had their series of matches for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, but I think they wrestled 2 or 3 pay-per-views in a row, and then randomly you got the inclusion of Rob Van Dam for one match at No Mercy. I think just to keep this thing fresh, because we're not going to see Owens versus Cena one-on-one again at SummerSlam. This feud needs something different, and the fact that they've included Cesaro so predominantly over the last couple of weeks in these open challenges makes me think that we're not going to get a decisive finish tonight, and then at SummerSlam you're going to involve Cesaro. Like Adam said, you don't need to pin John Cena because Cesaro's there. Owens pins Cesaro to become the champion, and then maybe at Night of Champions you do a rematch between Owens and Cena.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing people say, maybe Rusev and Cesaro get involved in this match tonight. I threw that out to you guys earlier because I kept seeing it on Twitter. We don't think that Rusev should be involved in this thing because when Dolph Ziggler returns in 3 weeks from filming his movie, you got to have something for him to do because God knows Rusev crushed his throat to write him off TV so he could go film a movie. He's re-signed to the company. He's got a multi-year deal. He's coming back. He's going to wrestle at SummerSlam. Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler for sure, with Lana on his side and with Summer Rae at the other. It's going to happen. So I don't expect a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. I don't expect Rusev to get involved here. I'm very surprised, and honestly, this could be a match that they add since we only have 6 matches on the card so far. We may get Cesaro versus Rusev tonight, and I would love it. I'd love every minute of it. What the 15 to 20 minutes that they wrestled the other night with Kevin Owens leaving the match was phenomenal. They put every single thing that they had out there, and it was really, really good.
And because another thing they could do is everybody forgets that, and I know what everyone's saying. Well, if John Cena doesn't take the pinfall, then he'll get a rematch for the title. Here's how you get rid of that, and here's how you make Cesaro look as strong as Kevin Owens. Say, and just we're all hypothetically speaking here. Say this triple threat happens at SummerSlam. Say Owens pins Cesaro. Next night on Raw, you have a #1 contender match between John Cena and Cesaro, and you have Cesaro go over. It's that simple.
Ooh.
I mean, it's that simple. And then you have Kevin Owens with a pinfall over John Cena, and you have Cesaro both with 1 pinfall only each, and then that could be the steam behind the feud between Cesaro and Kevin Owens.
I would tell you this. Yeah. I'll tell you this. If there is one guy that John Cena will put over, it's Cesaro.
I was about to say the same thing, yeah. If John Cena will get pinned cleanly by anyone right now, it's Superman.
He hears the crowd. He knows the crowd's behind him. It's something that he's wanted to happen for years. After that speech he gave to the Chicago crowd after their amazing match 3 weeks ago, dude, it's one of those things where if someone's gonna beat Cena clean at some point, outside of Kevin Owens getting that a couple months ago, it's Cesaro. Cena wants him to succeed. Fans want it. Cena wants it. It could happen. So
who was the last guy before Owens to do it? Was it Daniel Bryan, or was there someone else in between that I'm forgetting?
Oh, Brock Lesnar, by God.
Between when SummerSlam and Brock Lesnar, yeah, okay. So the big players in the company right now are kicking Cena's ass, and
correct. But Daniel Bryan wasn't before he beat him. Like the Daniel Bryan got the rub at SummerSlam 2 years ago because same thing. John Cena saw and recognized John Cena was dating the sister of the fiance to Daniel Bryan. They're hanging out. He grows to like the guy a lot. He realizes the fans are super behind him. John Cena knew Daniel Bryan was putting on the best matches week after week after week after week on TV. The fans were super behind him. John Cena says, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to give you the match. I'll put you over." And then they're going to do the screwy angle to get you to another match. But at least I'll put you over clean. And that's what happened. So, I think when John Cena recognizes, because it is political, I don't care what you say, John Cena, as much as anybody wants to say, Cena plays the game well and gives people their rubs and passes torches. Yeah, he takes some pinfalls here and there. But by God, he's stayed on top for 12 years, or at least 10 years, because he knows how to play the game like Triple H played the game, and it's political as all get out. Until John Cena takes a liking to you, you're probably not gonna go over him clean. That's just not gonna happen. If there's one guy to do it, it's the Swiss Superman.
He's on the Mount Rushmore, undeniably, of WWE as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's that guy that can make you or break you.
Yeah,
completely.
But just got to get rid of that damn stunner of his, man.
God awful. I'll tell you this, man. I've been super impressed with John Cena's work in the ring. He is trying his absolute hardest. 2 or 3 weeks ago, seriously, 2 weeks ago with him and Cesaro, where they're putting everything that they had in that match, where they were super gassed after 30 minutes going nonstop, pulling out all the stops, electric chair drops, freaking. I mean, Canadian destroyers, even though he almost missed that one. He's trying. He's trying a lot of new stuff, and I dig it. I dig the fact that he's trying to hang with these new cats that can do all these different, incredible athletic moves. I like that from Cena. For the love of God, stop using the springboard stunner. You're going to kill yourself or the guy in the ring with you. That last one against Cesaro was one of the worst things I have ever seen in my life. And then he went for it against Rusev this past Monday night and completely missed. It was bad. All this is bad. The springboard stunner has got to go.
It doesn't matter how good of a wrestler you are, because when you're springing off the ropes, you're not even seeing the guy when you're trying to grab him by the neck. Kevin Owens, Neville, Daniel Bryan, whoever it is, no one is going to hit that consistently well, and Cena will never be able to do it.
2 weeks ago against Cesaro, he was so far away. Cesaro was on the other side of the ring and had to run to get it, and he still missed.
I will recommend his performance in Trainwreck, though. I think he was friggin' hilarious in that movie, man. But he is, I warn you, spoiler alert, he is butt naked in that damn movie. The first thing I said to my girlfriend when I was watching it, I was like, I'm never watching wrestling again. I can't watch a John Cena match now without thinking the guy was in.
You saw his Marine, huh?
You saw him in his bare ass or whatever, and then when he goes in the washroom, he has a sock on, and I was traumatized.
Yeah, well.
5 moves of doom, 5 inches of doom.
He was just trying to salute you, bro. He's just giving you a salute, and he does it every week when he comes out. Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. This is interesting if the rumors are true, but this is where it gets really crazy because
this damn match.
This match is going to end with something screwy. If it doesn't, then it's going to be Roman Reigns clean. Let's put money where our mouths are here and say Roman Reigns is either going over clean or this is going to be a screwy ass finish, because you have the opportunity. This is one of those places where we say Dean Ambrose isn't booked on the card. Dean Ambrose could turn on Roman Reigns here. That could be a wild card factor here.
Yeah.
Not only in the main event could you see crazy stuff happen, in this match you're probably going to see crazy stuff happen. We're trying to get to SummerSlam. This is not the end game. So I expect a lot of craziness in this pay-per-view tonight. I don't expect a lot of clean finishes, and if it is, it's Roman Reigns getting to be look strong by taking over the guy that's been stalking him for the last 5 weeks. But dude,
this
rumors
match, 2 guys
you reported earlier. I mean, so we knew Sting was going to be involved in some way, shape, or form at SummerSlam. Now it's possibly a Bray Wyatt versus Sting match, is what Dave Meltzer reported today. I mean, that's cool. How do we get there? Other than Sting appearing tonight and doing something in this match to cost Bray Wyatt the match, or at least come out and point to him. And I don't know how they're going to set this up. How do they set this up? I know Bray Wyatt, when Sting was first rumored a year ago, in July last year, before they announced Sting for WWE 2K15, and that was the big reveal, was Sting is in the video game, and then it was, Sting's going to sign a Legends contract and compete at WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt, upon the rumors of Sting, was tweeting out, stuff about killing the Scorpion and all, stuff he was alluding to. Again, everybody tried to say it was The Undertaker. I don't know where Scorpion and The Undertaker comes together outside of all the rumors for Sting versus Undertaker. But maybe Bray Wyatt was trying to tease that then. I don't know. I don't know if this is something they've always wanted to do. We know that Sting wanted to face Daniel Bryan at some point. That was originally the plan for SummerSlam. Obviously, it's not happening. Daniel Bryan is out still with concussion-related injuries, and we're gonna get Sting versus Bray Wyatt possibly. So in this match, we could see Sting and his awful WWE music. I don't know. I don't know what to think here. I obviously picked Roman Reigns via pinfall clean because that's, to me, what's going to happen if there's no screwy finish. Will Benson picked Bray Wyatt via pinfall. John Alba and Frank Manzo also picked Roman Reigns via pinfall like myself. Adam Daly did the same thing. So did Sam. So did Joe Omega. The only other person that picked Bray Wyatt to win is Walter. Why? Like, what do you think is going to happen here where Bray Wyatt gets the pin?
Because I'm crazy. That's why I picked Bray Wyatt.
Anybody but you, Walter.
You know what, man?
Anybody but you.
I'm really having a hard time justifying why the hell I picked Bray Wyatt. My belief was, because especially with the reports coming out that we're going to get Sting and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, I thought, well, if they want that match to be a little bit more special, they would want Bray Wyatt to go over against Roman Reigns and be, Sting be the ultimate underdog against Wyatt, who's been, when he has competed since WrestleMania, he's been on quite a tear. So, but if you have Wyatt lose to Reigns and then you book him against Sting at SummerSlam, Sting is coming off a loss against Triple H, Bray Wyatt coming off a loss against Roman Reigns, like it would just be like a little bit diminished from what it could be. And the fact that they're even considering this is kind of surprising, just because I always felt Sting, whatever matches he wrestled for WWE, he wanted to wrestle against established names from the past. Like, he always said, I want to wrestle against the Triple H's, the Undertakers, the John Cena's, to have these big dream matches that people have been pining for years. I don't know necessarily if people are dying to see Sting versus Bray Wyatt, and I don't even think Sting might be as invested into this feud if it does happen as he would be if it were against The Undertaker. But you know what? If he is agreeing to this, then there has to be at least some sort of promise that we are going to get Sting versus The Undertaker at some point, whether it be from now until WrestleMania or at WrestleMania itself.
Or maybe at SummerSlam.
I don't think there's a chance in hell that's happening at SummerSlam, but I could be wrong.
We'll see. Adam, you of course picked Roman Reigns. Tell me why.
Yeah, I picked Reigns going over just because I feel like they want Reigns to have a win going into SummerSlam, and we're back on the Reigns. They want to keep Roman Reigns hot, and Wyatt seems to be, I hate to say the stepping stone, but again, he's one of those guys that's almost bigger than the title. It's like, I know a lot of people get mad about it, but it's just, he's that guy. Like, some people don't need a championship to be the hot, one of the hottest guys on the show. And he's that guy that, and when you enter a program with him, it's going to be something completely different than, anything Roman Reigns has ever done, at least, from what we've seen. So, so that's why I went Reigns clean. I'll be honest, I'm entertaining the idea of Dean Ambrose coming in and costing Reigns the match, because I think that'd be a huge SummerSlam match, would be Ambrose versus Reigns. But at the same time, I could see Sting, because Bray Wyatt is the master of surprising people. When the lights go off, the lights go on, and we never have seen that on. He's never been the victim to an attack like that. You know what I mean? Where the lights go out, you hear music, all of a sudden somebody costs him a match. So in a way, maybe they were trying to play off that dynamic. That's the only logic I can think of for Sting and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. So I of the scenarios, I like Dean Ambrose turning heel the best. Maybe that's just personal fan choice. But I don't know. I just see Roman Reigns going over clean. I'm going to stick with my pick, and I'm just going to throw my arms up and say I don't even know at this point.
I got you. Yeah, it's, again, just like the rest of this card, it's a toss-up. They could do anything with any of these matches because it's a reset time. It is time to pull the trigger and start some new programs to get us to SummerSlam and through SummerSlam into the fall. Crazy things.
Let me ask you guys this, though. Just a quick question for both of you. Was this the right time to do a Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt program? Because I feel like both of these guys really need like a solid victory on their resume over another top guy. Like, if they were both established, if this was later in the year and they were both on like really hot streaks, then yeah, I could justify Reigns versus Wyatt. But right now it seems like, the WWE wants to push them. They don't want to push them. They want to put them in the main event. They don't know for sure. So why book them against each other? It seems like it's just detrimental to both guys.
I'll shoot first. I think this is one of those things where they said, okay, it doesn't really matter. Especially if it's going to lead to something else at SummerSlam and they're going to use screwy things, maybe Dean Ambrose, maybe Sting. It doesn't hurt either guy if Sting comes in and costs Wyatt the match. Wyatt's not losing the match by him, cleanly. There's a schmoz there. That means that there's something that's going to happen that costs him the match. It's not going to be him actually losing the match. As far as with him being who he is, he does. And I've argued with everyone in our chat rooms forever about this. Bray Wyatt doesn't have to win a lot of matches at pay-per-views. He can win. Of course, he doesn't wrestle a lot on TV, but when he does, when he wrestles on SmackDown, he's usually winning. So the guy wins on TV and looks strong on TV all the time. And when you look strong on TV all the time, you can lose at the pay-per-view and be okay. You know, there's a difference between Bray Wyatt and Bad News Barrett, where Barrett's getting wasted all the time. Doesn't matter if it's pay-per-view or TV. He just looks weak as hell. And then you have Bray Wyatt, who looks strong and intimidating all the time on TV, and he loses at the pay-per-views. To me, it's I think that they booked this to get them to SummerSlam, get them to have something to do until SummerSlam to keep them on the camera and get their faces and their names and an interesting story. Even though it hasn't been that compelling, it's been interesting to get people to say, oh yeah, I'm interested in this match because I'm interested. I've seen what's been happening on TV. But the bigger question is, where do they go from here? If it's Sting and Wyatt and Sting interrupts, it's not going to hurt Wyatt, it's not going to hurt Reigns, and then you move on to something different. And they've established it where Bray Wyatt wants to always be the guy that cuts Reigns off the knees whenever Reigns is about to get powerful. So even if they don't have a clean finish here tonight, it establishes a feud that can go for years. I mean, look how long we saw Randy Orton and John Cena face each other. Like, you know, it's something that he could be just angry at Roman Reigns all the time and come out of left field out of nowhere and take him out. Adam?
I look at it this way. I think both guys needed something for this pay-per-view. I don't know. I think they have something in mind, something different in mind for both of these guys. I think they needed a one-off, and I think this was a good way to get Roman Reigns into a storyline, uncharted territory, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, have him step outside of his comfort level and be engaged in a storyline that is a little bit more than him just being the guy that walks through the crowd with a vest on, and I'm going to Superman punch you. Okay, now you're messing with his family, and granted, it wasn't as, you know, it didn't play out as I don't think as great as what we thought it was going to be, especially for how hot it started, but at least it was something, it was a different way to see Roman Reigns, you know, and I think that a lot of times they do those little short programs that a lot of times don't make sense, but they're really just to test out talent and see how are they in the acting facet of that part of it, you know. So I think if this is more or less just Roman Reigns stepping outside of his comfort level and kind of getting inserted that way. Plus, I do think these two. Sorry about the high pitched. I don't know what happened right there. I think I just everybody. I don't know what happened. No, I think this is I think this one is. Actually could be a really good match. I mean, I think both of them would work well against each other. Both are hard-hitting. I think this could be a sleeper match that could be really entertaining if we quit being cynical about it and step back and just let it happen. I think it really could work.
Yeah, I think there'll be similar dynamics in this one and the Randy Orton-Sheamus match as far as psychology and how the match plays out and the timing and spacing and all that kind of stuff. And you got to remember, and when I say something like Bray Wyatt's abilities outside of the ring make him look strong during the week, I'm really talking about, which is what WWE is looking at, casual fans. Casual fans do not see Bray Wyatt losing in a pay-per-view. You know, when people say, well, no one takes Bray Wyatt seriously because he loses all the time. He wins on SmackDown. He wins whenever he wrestles on Raw. No
one watches SmackDown.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, casual fans do. They're the ones that the show's aimed for in the first place. Smarks don't watch it because they read the spoilers. But, you know, Smarks are the ones that don't look at Bray Wyatt seriously because they feel like he's not winning enough. Look,
Doug,
his mic work, just like Dusty Rhodes, his mic work is enough to pull someone into a match and into a program. And for a casual fan, they just think he's intriguing.
And Doug, here's a good example. If Bray Wyatt wasn't so over, why was, you know, my daughter was just on vacation. She came back with a Seth Rollins figure, which was awesome. I love my daughter's choice in wrestling talent, by the way. But she picked Seth Rollins because they were out of Bray Wyatt. She wanted Bray Wyatt next. So, okay, I have a 5-year-old little girl. You can't tell me that Bray Wyatt isn't working. It doesn't matter if he wins or loses because he's that compelling on TV that my daughter, I think that's the first figure that came to mind. I want Bray Wyatt.
Right.
And he is not a character that's geared towards that age demographic, although they say Raw is written and these shows are written for that, you know, that 10-year-old demographic. So is it really hurt? I mean, these losses aren't hurting him at all. His character is just so unique that regardless of the pay-per-view wins or losses, it doesn't matter. His character is over. His character is larger than the match itself sometimes.
He's Jushin Liger, essentially.
Basically, I mean, that's how, yeah.
When you think about it, it's a pretty good comparison.
Can't wait to see Liger in Brooklyn.
You lucky sons of
So before this kickoff show starts in a minute, let's quickly, as quick as we can, which we could spend another 30 minutes talking about this match. But the main event tonight is, of course, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to just run through the predictions, then we can speak on it for a quick 5 minutes or so. Brock Lesnar via DQ is what I have. I don't think this is going to be a clean finish, and we can talk about it, but I think it's going to be Brock Lesnar wins via disqualification. Will Benson has Seth Rollins via pinfall. John Alba has Seth Rollins via pinfall. Frank Manzo has Seth Rollins via pinfall. Chris Walter has Seth Rollins via pinfall. Alex Bisong is with me here. He thinks Brock Lesnar via DQ. Joe Omega thinks it's going to be Seth Rollins via DQ. I'm assuming he believes The Undertaker is going to attack Brock Lesnar and cost him the match. That's yet to be seen. We'll see. Adam Daly, you have Seth Rollins via pinfall. Everybody else usually, it looks like a lot of people think there's going to be a clean finish here. Guys, tell me why you think there's going to be a clean finish here, because I just don't see a clean finish at all.
Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope there's a no disqualification stipulation added tonight. That would really help my cause. But in terms of the match, I mean, for the last couple of weeks, we've seen Brock Lesnar decimate Seth Rollins' group authority or whatever. We see Kane on the sidelines, J&J Security have been taken out, and the announcers are always teasing the fact that Seth Rollins has no backup and he's going into this by himself, and can he take on Brock Lesnar and defeat him? Look, Brock Lesnar, as much as I would actually like to see it, isn't becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion tonight. We're just going to get ourselves back into that situation where he shows up once every couple of months. He's going to be the champion. Everyone's going to complain again. It's not going to make a lot of sense. Tonight, if you want to get some massive heel heat on Seth Rollins, whose heat has kind of died down a bit just because the authority has been so cheesy and so corny, you make him to be the one to beat the one in 21-1, whatever it is. You beat him, you have him beat Brock Lesnar. That's going to make him insanely over as in terms of a heel. But how you do so, someone has to come out tonight, whether it's The Undertaker, which I actually don't think is going to happen, because I think if Sting debuts or returns in the Wyatt match, we're not going to see Undertaker as well. We might see him tomorrow night. Yeah. But I really think, that's my bold prediction tonight, either Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose is turning heel. They're going to aid Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins is going to beat Brock Lesnar.
What do you think there, AD?
I definitely think there's some interference somehow. I picked Rollins by pinfall only, straight pinfall, only because it's the one scenario nobody thinks is really going to happen. Everybody thinks it's either going to be DQ or Lesnar's going to win or this and that. That's the only one that it's a kind of like nobody saw it coming type of deal. And then think about going forward. He can cut a promo tomorrow night on Raw saying, just like Walter said, I'm the one who beat the one, but just go off on a tangent. And then think about the dynamic between him and Triple H right now. How would that make Triple H couldn't beat The Undertaker? Now he's the man that beat the man who beat The Undertaker. Add friction onto that little scenario that they got going on. For me, I think a straight pinfall, whether hook or crook, if you get a pinfall victory that nobody would have saw coming, it adds so much heat to Seth Rollins. I think it at least legitimizes his title run, which will probably end next month at SummerSlam anyway. But I think this is the time where he gets his actual pinfall victory, where a lot of his wins have been very either cheap or the roundabout ways.
Just a question: who do you think wins the title from him at SummerSlam if he's losing in a month?
I don't know.
If he goes over Lesnar and he loses it the next month to some nobody, I mean, what?
If he beats Lesnar cleanly tonight, he's not losing until WrestleMania.
He's holding that title till WrestleMania at that point.
Yeah.
Or at least Royal Rumble.
No, because the authority's going to be. That's where I feel like that's where the cracks in the. He's going to think he's bigger than the authority. And I'm not necessarily saying it's Sheamus, but maybe that's when we see a Roman Reigns come in and turn heel. Maybe that's when we see. But I agree with Walter. I don't think that they're going to put the title on Lesnar because we're not going to go back to that every 3-month thing. Yeah, so again, I could be, yes, I definitely booked myself into a corner, but at the same time, I don't know. I think that's the one way that it leads. I don't know. I just think that past maybe Night of Champions. So maybe it goes to Night of Champions, but they have to get the title off him sooner or later if they want that Triple H match. Because I can't see him wrestling for the championship. I mean, there was no way it would be a world title match.
And lest we forget, moving forward tomorrow night on Raw and in the weeks to come leading into SummerSlam, Seth Rollins is still not going to have any backup. J&J Security will probably still be out. Kane will probably still be out to sell this stupid injury of his. Who's going to be Seth Rollins' go-to guy? Someone is turning heel tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree that there's going to be somebody that turns heel. And again, Dean Ambrose not being on the card can be very telling if that's the case.
That wouldn't make as much sense as Reigns, though, because Ambrose was challenging him for the title.
I agree.
Is it going to be?
I agree. I don't like.
Join him?
I don't like it unless there's a Shield reunion. And here's the thing: unless it's like he convinced his brothers to come back, and then at some point the brothers turn on him later on down the line. Something, I don't know what's going to happen, but something's happening here. Screwy finish. I don't think that they want Brock Lesnar to get pinned by Seth Rollins. If he does, that's fine. But I think Brock Lesnar gets the win without the title. I think it's a DQ. I think something happens. Notice, at least right now, the title match there's no stipulations on it. It's not a no DQ match. It's nothing like that. There's no stipulations. It's a regular title bout. And if you want to get to another pay-per-view where you can have a title match that means something, and it's not I think the two scenarios are legitimately Seth Rollins holds on clean, and I don't mean clean as in he pins him with no help. I mean help comes out and somehow he gets the pin, so it's not super clean, but at least he actually pins Brock Lesnar for 1, 2, 3, or what I actually picked. Brock Lesnar gets the win via disqualification and does not win the title due to the interference. Because why else would they not make this a disqualification match? They've already signed the contracts. They can't unless it's Triple H that comes out and adds the stipulation at the beginning of the pay-per-view tonight. They're not going to add the stipulation later. So for me, I think a DQ is in the works. I think the writing's on the wall that there's a DQ in the works. We could all be wrong, and Brock Lesnar could win the title, and that would be the stupidest thing ever in my book. It would definitely get us. It would definitely get us to SummerSlam. It would definitely get us to a Triple H Seth Rollins match, but I think it would be dumb. And guys, I mean, like what you're saying with the run-in. Seth Rollins' entire I was talking about this earlier. The subtext of his character for the last year and a month, since June 2nd, 2014, has been Plan B. There's always a Plan B. Not only the Authority, but Seth Rollins. There's always a Plan B. And if he learned anything from Triple H, who he's using his finisher, and he is his mentor at this point, right? You got to have a Plan B. Somebody's got to come out and do a run-in here.
And I don't know who it's going to be. I am not ruling out completely. I think it's the least likely of the main scenarios here, but I'm not ruling out Sheamus cashing in tonight.
I'm not ruling it out either, but it'd be crazy. It'd be, well, not two, but 2 years ago we saw that happen with Triple H as the special guest referee.
And the best thing about all of this is we have no idea what the main event of SummerSlam is going to be.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
There's like 4 or 5 different bouts right now.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the possibility of Undertaker interfering in this match?
I think you could see Taker come out, but it's got to be it's got to be something that compels him to. I would be remiss if I said he just comes out because Seth Rollins is about to win. Yeah, we've heard Paul Heyman over and over again talk about the fact that Brock Lesnar conquered the streak. I've been saying it for the last year and a half. Dadgummit, if the way that they talk about the streak ending so much is so much, they're building towards another Taker versus Lesnar match. I just don't know how they get there.
If he interferes tonight, we're getting Undertaker Lesnar at SummerSlam. There's no Undertaker versus Rollins title match because it's painfully obvious that Rollins is going to win.
Right. But then again, Rollins attacked Kane after Lesnar did. So Taker could have beef with both guys.
So maybe Undertaker just attacks Rollins,
lays out both of them,
and then we just get Lesnar Undertaker because Lesnar ended the streak, and then he lost his title match because of the Undertaker. So there's your match. Not as cool as if it would be at WrestleMania, because at SummerSlam, yeah, you want to redeem yourself for losing and ending the streak, but beating him at SummerSlam doesn't really matter, but it will still be cool to see. They can redeem their performance from WrestleMania 30, which wasn't that hot.
Oh, yeah, as long as he doesn't get concussed in the first 5 minutes again. That's what happened.
Yeah.
By God, you can see that's what the Undertaker looked like for the last.
He was gone after like the first 5
minutes.
He looked like Festus.
He did look. I like Festus. Oh, okay, hey guys, this is it. The show has started. Renee Young, obviously looking smoking hot out there. I mean, Frank already sent us a message saying Renee Young looks tasty and delicious tonight. She does. She looks very hot. So kickoff show's on. Go enjoy that. Get on to Twitter and live tweet with us at WrestleRumors. We'll be throwing up some stuff and letting you guys hang out with us and talk to us there. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow Chris Walter at Walter Sports on Twitter. Of course, Adam is at AdamDaily13. His beautiful wife, Sam, is at SamDaily13, or at Lady Nexus 13, excuse me. And you can catch their review show immediately following the pay-per-view. Guys, enjoy the show. We'll catch you on the next one.